Hey, what is going on? In this video, I'm going to share with you this outbound system that I created to generate 17 meetings in 30 days with this job hiring signal pipeline. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing through an Excalidraw. And just for some quick stats, I pulled it up on Instantly. So in the past 4 weeks, we shot to 500. We got an 8.2% reply rate and a positive reply rate of 26.1%. So 11 of those conversations were really good. What's really nice about this is that on top of that, I was mixing in with Heyreach, which is a LinkedIn sending tool. So on top of that, we got a 42% connection rate, and that got us 26 replies. And so we were able to get some meetings out of those 26 as well. So the combination of the two is where the money is made by being able to multi-thread. So you want to be doing both at all times. So let's get into it. And the first thing is to detect hiring signals. I was doing specifically for SDRs, BDRs, and this can be whatever you might be looking for. Maybe it's social media, maybe you're looking for operations people. It depends on what your offer is. And the best way to do that is use TheirStack. So this is a job hiring or finding software. And the best thing about this is that you could be using clay.com and maybe you already have a list of people that you're looking to target, and then you can see if they're hiring. The problem with that is that you have to know you already have to have the list of companies that you're targeting. And then yes, you can use a personalization statement. Oh, hey, notice you're hiring. What's really nice about TheirStack is that you're constantly scanning for companies that you may not have had on your radar or that you weren't planning on reaching out to within the next few weeks. And so you have new leads like that coming in. Because by the time, let's say they are in your total addressable market, by the time you reach out to them, maybe that job posting's already gone. So the timing is not there. And so the timing is key here. You want to make sure that you're on top of it. And so that's what we do. We put it through our database. And so you want to be using, what I use is Supabase, which I'll get into. And this is how you're going to input all your leads, do all your research, do everything. So I'm going to get into that. Use a tool called Supabase. It's free up until a certain point. There's no reason not to do it. We're going to use find decision makers. So we're going to have a waterfall. This entire workflow is going to be done through a software called trigger.dev. And we're going to use a mixture of Claude Code and N8N to be able to formulate all of this. And we're going to find the decision makers. This is the key step. This is the difference between you being a spammer and sounding like every other person who is also scanning their website or scanning for jobs, which is the AI system on the back end. And then we're going to personalize the outreach and we're going to save the lead to a database. So what's going on under the hood is trigger.dev, which I'm going to show you, is that once we get the data from TheirStack on the companies that we have specifically identified for those specific jobs, we are going to do all the AI filtering by relevance. We're going to make sure that they are specifically that target ICP that we are going after. So because I'm doing so much filtering on the front end of, is this the exact type of company, employee size, who their target audience is, what industry they're in. The AI personalization is important, but because I'm so specific on who I'm targeting, it allows my copy and offer to be more relevant. And then we're going to do the naturalized company name steps. We are going to find the decision maker. I found that Prospeo plus Anymail Finder has been a really good 1-2 punch for me, specifically targeting that mid-market enterprise employee range company size that I'm going after. And there's a lot of them out there. I like these two because they are very API friendly with Claude Code, N8N, and these other tools. And again, we're going to put them all into our database again, push it to our two softwares automatically, Instantly and Heyreach, to make sure that we have insights on everyone that we put through the system, because we don't want to have them go through it again. Or if we have a different campaign running, we don't want to be sending them more emails when we have them in this campaign. How you are going to set this up is you're going to go into your very best friend, which is Claude Code right here. And before we do anything, we want to make sure we are in plan mode so that you can architect the exact plan that you're looking for before it builds anything out on your behalf. And what we're just gonna do is we are going to chat with it in natural language exactly what we want. And if you don't have Whisper Flow yet, it's an absolute game changer. It allows you to just talk to your computer and it types for you. So get that, let me put you on some free game there. But either way, hey, I'm looking to create a email outbound campaign pipeline. I'm gonna be using TheirStack, and it's going to be sending over data through a webhook. I'm gonna bring it into modal, where it's going to do, I want it to filter out any company that's above 50 employees. I wanna make sure that they're in B2B SaaS. And then I want you to do Perplexity research on the company to get their target market, what problems they solve, what pain points they have. Use Perplexity to be able to gather as much data as possible on the company so that we can then use Claude to create, so we're gonna do an LLM call, create Claude to create a personalized statement as our intro icebreaker. And then I'll make sure to give you some examples and a better system prompt so that we can hone and nail down that Claude LLM call. But then also what I'd like you to do is then push those leads into Instantly and Heyreach, and we're gonna put all of the data that we gather from Perplexity into a Supabase table. Also, if we do find that they are within our ICP, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them through an email waterfall, Prospeo with Anymail Finder. You're gonna have that skill already on hand. And we're gonna be doing all of this in trigger.dev. So I want you to be making a new trigger.dev workflow where it's going to, how we're gonna do it is we're gonna have the TheirStack webhook. We're gonna post it to N8N. We're gonna have N8N do all the filtering. And then we're going to send it to trigger.dev. Within trigger.dev, we're gonna have all of the modal, and then we're gonna have the Perplexity research, and then we're gonna have the Instantly and Heyreach pushes to those as well. All right, so we're gonna let it do its thing. I made this a little bit a while ago, so my brain is a little bit like, oh. So anyways, what's really going on here is, so it's gonna do this thing. And of course it already has context on my workflows, my database, so it's gonna do a bit of a better job. But if you just talk, again, the point of this is you talk in natural language to Claude Code. It's helpful if you map out the flow beforehand, and if you just give it the flow, it'll know exactly what you want. But what it's gonna do, it's gonna do all of its thing on the back end. It's going to research all the necessary things on the internet to be able to get you exactly what you need. And the end product of what this looks like, I just described to Claude Code here is, so we have TheirStack, and it gives us a data set. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give it to N8N. So this is gonna be, you don't have to use N8N in this step. You could send it immediately to trigger.dev, which is another platform, automation platform. I found that N8N is able to receive the data in a much more reliable fashion, and you're able to see execution history and where it fails and whatnot. So we catch the incoming data, we use a code node to be able to format the data properly. That was the biggest step. It was that we weren't able to, I tried doing it to trigger.dev right away, and it didn't like the data that it was sending. So it caused all sorts of errors. So we just said, fuck it. We're gonna put in N8N, we're gonna format it properly with this code node, and then we're just gonna use an HTTP request, which is gonna automatically send it to trigger.dev. So data comes in from TheirStack, N8N, format, trigger.dev. Now, if we look at trigger.dev, this is the workflow. TheirStack hiring pipeline started. We're gonna get the jobs from N8N. We're naturalizing the company names. I talked about that. We're checking our database. So we're checking for duplicates. Did we already reach out to them before? And if we did, okay, let's see, was it within 90 days? No, let's try again. And then boom, 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 boom. Supabase, we're gonna go through the decision maker email. We're gonna push to Instantly, and we're gonna push to Heyreach. So that's what we're gonna do. And then within here we have, all right, so if we go to what our Claude Code, Claude's plan, TheirStack, we had it for a YouTube demo. and it gives you the entire architecture of what you're looking for. So what I just described to you, N8N, to N, it catches this, filter, HTTP request, what we just showed you, it sends to trigger.dev, does all of these things, modify Perplexity research prompt, that's what we did. Oh, let me show you that. So what we have Perplexity do is, and it's in my database, we have what they offer, the company description, any recent news that they had, target market, their key differentiator, their hiring signals, their growth indicators, like what is happening to the company that is leading us to believe why they're hiring, who they're hiring for, and then we again put that personalized line in there. So we're doing all of that with Perplexity on the back end to be able to then put that into our email copy to make it even more relevant to them than just saying, hey, saw you hiring for blank. It's like, okay, why are they hiring for blank? And how can we use that to then be able to modify our offer in the way that would be most relevant to them? And so that is the entire thing. Let's go back to Claude Code. And again, all you have to do is chat back and forth, and you're gonna have to take in the time to hone the research prompt, and you're gonna hone the personalization prompt, because you wanna give it examples, you wanna say, hey, this is what good looks like. The best recommendation that I have here is that if you went through 10 of these companies yourself and you manually did the research and said, okay, hey, Claude, I went through these 10 companies. This is what I would have said based on the information of the Perplexity research that you gave me. And here's what I would have said for this company. Here's what I would have said for that company. So then it learns, okay, he had this context and he said it this in this way. This is how he formatted it. This was his language. This is how he likes to talk. And now you have 10 of those. Claude, that has enough information on how you would have said it, and boom, you're off to the races. And again, you just got to give it your Instantly campaign ID. You got to give it your Heyreach API keys, all of that. And then if you wanted to, again, this is why it's best practice just to map it out in the Excalidraw, because then when you're there, then you're just like, okay, I can articulate this on paper. Because if you can't articulate it on paper, you can't articulate it to an AI. Of course, it can help you be able to think through it, but the best way is map it out on Miro, Excalidraw, whatever, and just input it in here. It's gonna ask you any clarifying questions. It's gonna give you the exact task steps on it, exactly what it's going to do. It's gonna give you the Supabase table to create the exact thing that I showed you with all of the filters, and then key files, and boom, you're off to the races. So it's just like, all right, here we go. If you wanna make any edits to this, you can. Boom, the more planning that you do up front and the closest that you can get to exactly what you want, then you can almost do this in one shot. But if you're pretty shitty about, oh, I don't really know what I want, I'm just gonna say, hey, Claude, can you kind of do this thing that I'm vague about up here? Then it's gonna take a lot more time down the line with prompting back and forth, and it's gonna make more mistakes. So that is something to think about, is take the time to invest in making the plan bulletproof up front. So hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. So you can do this entire campaign with Heyreach, Instantly, Claude Code, building it for you, trigger.dev, and N8N. So let me know if you have any questions, and hope that was helpful. Cheers.